Do you want to be better at Trackmania? Well, you came to the right place where, like my other guides, I would be providing the best content and sort them into order. So let's get started. First of all, you might need to change or add some quality controls and setting in Trackmania, for which, watch Jnic's guide on controls, and watch starting of his complete guide for settings. Now, we can actually get into mechanics for Trackmania. You must understand some things. Time you spend on air is not spent accelerating on the ground, meaning you can only accelerate when you are on contact with ground. This is explained by Wirtual's guide, which also talks about gears. Basically, there are 5 gears, and whenever you are about to reach a gear, do not steer, as it will take longer to switch between gears, which will result in time loss. These skills from Wirtual's guide are skill 3 and 4 respectively. Next bunch of mechanics are from Jnic's guide. Air brake. When you are in the air, when pressing brake, you can stabilize the car to land smoothly. You would almost always want to air brake when in the air. But if your car is already tilted towards the right, then air brake will keep it that way. To counter this, we use a technique called counter steering, where you steer the opposite side of your rotation. Lines on different surfaces. Jnic talks about what good lines and bad lines are on different surfaces. Next is smooth steering, where you slowly steer so you don't start drifting. After getting a reactor boost, if you hold brake, then you can travel at high speeds. This is called a zoom. Drifting by Wirtual. To turn sharp angles, which is not possible to do on full speed, you can drift around it. A drift can be initiated with a 180 speed or higher. Next is drift cancelling by Wuffeli, where you have to counter steer to cancel a speed drift. Neo slide by Wuffeli, tech which is used to initiate a drift even when you don't have the speed to do so. The wiggle. Wiggle the car back and forth to accelerate faster while having 230 or more speed. Last mechanic from Wirtual, which is the bug slide or grass slide, where you land at a 90-degree angle, and drift, which gives a 90-degree drift. Speed sliding or speed drifting. Most commonly used in high-speed maps, is a way to accelerate faster by doing something which I don't understand with my 2 brain cells, so instead watch Mudda's guide on it. And lastly, speed 4 drift by Wuffeli, where you do a speed slide and press brake at 450 or more speed. All these mechanics are for road, drift and grass surfaces. So what about ice? Well, I had another section for it if you had let me complete the Holy Guide by Birdie TM with all ice mechanics, including ice wall rides. Bobsleigh, where you go to the edge of the corner to get more speed. Ice slide, the most important mechanic in ice surfaces. In this, you have to turn to a certain amount and counter steer. The ice wiggle, like dirt and grass wiggle, is possible on ice. Lastly is 360 and 270 turns, which is situational and most of the time will not to gain time, but when it is, you have to use it. Now you know every useful technique, but there are some very situational techniques which used only in speedruns, meme courses or khaki tracks. In the obscure category, we first have nose bug, where if you land with front facing the ground and pressing drift, you get an insane speed boost. Uber bug. To trigger a Uber bug, you have to bug slide onto the track side walls and you get yeeted across the map. Turtling. When your car has its back on the ground, you can turtle by steering only when the wheels touch the ground. Side slide. If you land sideways, your car will keep moving in one direction. Pirouette. Hit a wall with high speeds while the car facing down will make the car spin. And yes, we are finally done with every single mechanic for Trackmania. So now we can go to types of races and Trackmania, which can be divided into 3 types: full speed, dirt and grass, and lastly ice. First up, full speed. The best guide is by boomstudio. which covers all tips and tricks you will need for full speed track. For dirt is the guide made by Scrapie, which will give you the racing lines you should follow in dirt. Lastly, for ice, again the guide by Birdie TM is the best. Not only it talks about specific mechanics but also give examples. Yup, it's all done every Trackmania mechanic in one video. And I was able to do that because of every YouTuber featured in this video, so a huge thanks to everyone, and be sure to watch their video as well and stay safe.